Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, everybody. This is Unapologetically Badass with Sierra and Renee. Thank you for tuning in today. This is so exciting. We're here back again just to talk about shit that just drives us wacky and then makes us super, super happy, right? So today's
Exactly.
show is really about the shit no one tells you when it comes to coaching / business. So we hope that you enjoy this. Stick with us. Make sure you tune in every week. So Renee, we talk about this all the time.
Hello. I know. So this is we're going to let you in on the behind the scenes conversations that we sometimes have. So hello everyone. So glad you're here. This is
And our clients
yeah.
know, like, right, like, I mean, clients have to know that there's good and dirty behind the
Mm,
scenes. Like, we're going through things mentally as we're being the best for
yeah.
you, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is, realizing that we are women too. Like, yes,
Women.
they're going through shit themselves, but guess what? Your coach probably is too. And when we show up for you,
Yes.
with our smile, we leave everything else in behind. And we
Yes.
are here to serve you, which is what we want to do. Like that's something that
Right.
we thrive. It's we
Absolutely.
absolutely love it. But when the other side, one of the biggest, okay, I'm just going to go right in. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
just
just
going to go
dive
right in.
right in so that
One of
everybody
my
understands
biggest,
our
yes, one of my biggest pet peeves is grown ass women not showing up to appointments they scheduled.
that they
That
schedule.
drives me up the fucking wall. Okay. Because if
Yes.
you want to build a business and you
Mhm.
can't at least take control of your
And
calendar
and
and
they've
I
paid
made an
you.
appointment. Yeah, they paid
And
you,
they've paid you.
or
That's
they're
what
part of like your network marketing, network marketing, and they go, hey, are you available at this time? Or they scheduled it on my link. And then
Mhm.
I show up no matter what's going on in my life. I want
Mhm.
to help other people. And then they
Yeah.
no show. And then
Yeah.
I text them and they're, sorry, I forgot. I had this up. I had this. Well, we all have shit come up, but I made a commitment to
Yeah.
you. So that
Yeah.
that is my biggest pet peeve is the no-shows. I don't know how women do it. And
It's
like,
hard to remain positive whenever your heart is to constantly give
yeah,
to everyone, and you block out this time to really, really pour your heart into somebody, and they just don't take it as seriously as you. And
exactly. And
that
it's
is
the
the
thing is
frustrating
right,
piece.
because we know that there's an opportunity for them. So we get, as coaches, we get so excited
We
because we
believe in them
know,
more.
yes, we believe in them more than they believe in themselves. And they don't, so then if they're not taking it as seriously as we are, it can be very frustrating. So the emotional ups and downs of being a coach and
Mhm.
it is can be exhausting for sure. It can be very rewarding. And I think that's what keeps us coming back to it,
Absolutely.
right? And keeps us in it. But yeah, holy
And
moly.
and then you know that there's different levels, right? So as a coach, when you have a multitude of people that you're coaching, you have these buckets and then you prioritize those buckets. So you're like, this is my least priority bucket because they don't put the effort in ever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then these are the ones that have all the potential in the world. The numbers are there, things are looking great, they're starting to spark and do things. So I'm going to put a little bit more energy into them if they need it. And then these are my winners, and I need to be keyed into them
Yep.
all the time. And where the frustrating piece is that middle, the bottom one, you don't really care as much about because you're just
Mhm.
like, I mean, like if you need me and you want to move to this bucket,
Yep.
girl, let's go.
Yep.
But what you're trying to do is get this middle bucket up here, but you can't do it for them. And
No.
that is coaching. Coaching is getting a person from one place
Yep.
to another.
We always say
And
coaching accelerates success.
it does.
So you have so many women get stuck in the, can't, couldn't, shouldn't,
Mhm.
wouldn't,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, and think that they can do it alone. But we're like, if you have a coach, this is
Yeah.
going to help you along the way to get there and accelerate your goals so that you can reach it versus the, coming up with excuses. But yeah,
And
the
I
count.
think that like those people that just thinking of coaching because it really is just like a full-time job. I think of coaching as having kids.
Mhm.
Eventually you have to coach your kids. You can't tell them what to do anymore.
Yeah.
So it's more like asking those open-ended questions of, well, what do you think? Where do you think that
Mhm.
that will lead you? So I think that it's also just trying to do your best to balance and key into them and feed into them and love them where they are. But if they say they want to accelerate and then you try to give all your energy and then they don't really want to accelerate or ready, like just say it. Say you're not ready to accelerate. Like it's
Yeah.
okay. Like we
Mhm.
love you right where you
Yeah.
fucking are. Just stay
Yeah.
there for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is coach, when you have the coach that you want to work with, because that's the key. I've been interviewed also lots of people to see whether or not my personality aligns with them. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? And that's okay. You don't need to necessarily love, the person that you're with, but you want to find the person that can help you get to where you want to go. But the importance, like you said, of having those honest conversations, right? The Another thing, it's tough when somebody is just giving you what they think you want them to say.
Yes, that's
Right?
where
We
it's like,
can't coach that because
no, you
you're just
can't.
giving us a bunch of bullshit. Like if you really want to do it and we're coaching you through it, the expectation, and that's the key thing, is then there becomes an expectation, and a lot of people don't like
Yeah,
to have that expectation that they put on themselves. It's not necessarily us coaches putting it on them, but
yeah,
they put it on themselves because they've exposed what their goals are, and we've now helped them create a strategy. And then they go, that sometimes for them that's the oh shit moment. I have to be accountable to myself
yeah.
versus going like, "Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I can't do it."
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
having
It
those
takes a lot
honest
of
conversations is so important.
It does, and it takes a lot of self-awareness for the other person who wants to be coached to be aware of her own self, of what she is
Yeah,
truly ready for to tell her coach, because her coach really needs honesty and needs to know exactly where do you wanna go. And so it's okay to say things like, "I want this, I just don't think I'm in the place to put the energy and work into it." And
right.
then as a coach, you're just like, "I appreciate that." Like,
Yes.
"Okay,
Yeah,
so let's take baby steps.
right.
Where do you want to go? You're on this call with me. You're sitting here having coffee with me. Where do you want to
Yeah,
go then?"
yeah,
And it's like honesty is like the best. Just
without a
hands
doubt.
down, and that is what for me is my biggest pet peeve is I am going to be always 100% honest with the person coaching me or that is my mentor, because I say mentor, right? Because
Mhm.
sometimes, not everybody really coaches, they're more of a mentor.
Yeah,
I am like going to be like, I'm not feeling it. I
yeah.
don't I just am not feeling it. I cannot get there this month. And
Mhm.
it's not because I don't want to, I just can't. And I just and I just it's just not my energy level is not gonna happen. And then sometimes having that conversation, then they're like, okay, well, where is that can't coming from? And you're like, oh
Right.
shit, now I gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
And that's where the change happens.
Yep.
When you're honest, with your coach, changes happen. And
Yeah.
then you're like, well, this is conflicting or this is restricting or my passion level has just, or I still have a little bit of PTSD. And so
Yeah.
then those excuses start to like evaluate and you're like, okay, well, can I get to a better place? Well, let me just work on one thing. And a really good coach is going to be like, let's just get you in a better place mentally this month.
Yeah, and that's
What
the
can
thing
you
is,
start with?
people need to understand, like you said, that self-reflection. Are
Yeah.
they coachable? Because there's a difference when people say they are coachable, but yet they don't do the work that it takes to be coachable, right? So people can say, and that's happened. I mean, gosh, it's been, over 11 years in the space. So there's definitely been times where, there've been women like, I'm coachable and I want to go to whatever, right? And then you go, okay, and then you start peeling the layers of that onion, right? And determining, what are they doing? And it's all excuses. So
Yeah.
when you're getting
But they
to
don't change in those
excuses,
excuses.
yeah,
That's the
they're like,
thing.
"I
It's like,
can't do it."
you
I'm like, "Well,
gotta
what will help you
Right.
get to that point? How will you
Right.
be able to, right? And it's putting it on them because, yes, you're right. We can't do the work for them. We can't push water uphill. We can't do it for them. And we're not going to do it for them.
No, our job is to figure out why you keep saying can't.
Right. Right.
And then, okay, let's just start with that,
Yep.
and if you're willing, let's just remove that this
Yeah.
month, like
Yeah.
baby steps. But if they're not honest
Yeah.
with you, I mean, like, you don't want it to always be a conversation of negativity. You
No.
want to see growth. The
Right.
growth is why we coach.
Yep.
But if
Exactly.
but if the person cannot do the work of really understanding what that word means to them and where it's coming
Yeah.
from, it's not gonna do anybody in any relationship any good.
Yeah.
It's like a marriage, Renee,
Yeah.
right? Coaching
Yeah.
is like a marriage. And if you have one that is willing to give, 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 and the other one is just always, "I'm not feeling it," then it's probably time to let that go.
Right, right, exactly. And there, that's been also a tough part as a coach because we get
Let
so
it go.
invested in, success. And we said earlier, we want times more than they do. And
Yeah.
it's sad to like gotta let it go because this ain't working. Like it's a waste of
Sometimes
your
you
time, person. Like,
Yeah, sometimes you gotta take that high achiever person, and you have to move them to
yeah,
the not going anywhere bucket, and
yeah,
that is heartbreaking
yeah,
because now you're like, "Hey, who is going to feel
yeah,
that high performer?
right,
She went over in this bucket of doing nothing. Who's feeling that?" And
yeah,
that's like, that's the catch up game. And then you're trying to move these people, like these middle performers, to these high performer spots. And you're sitting down with your list. Okay, she can do this because if she just gets one more, two more, or if she just finds this, and you're just like, but she doesn't want to. Okay,
right.
next.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, but she doesn't want to, and that's the thing is, like, I could speak a lot about, obviously, network marketing because that's my wheelhouse. It's really, interesting to me how many women don't actually take the action
Yeah.
when they say that they want to. They say this is what they're gonna do. I oftentimes, in the beginning of my career, went into fix mode and not
Oh,
the coaching, right? So I
that's
would
hard.
do a lot for them
Yeah.
because, thinking they can't do it for themselves. Same thing with raising kids, right? Like we want to step in and take care of it and do it for them and be the fixer, be the mom, be the, I'm going to take care of this for you. And when I recognized and my company helped us recognize the difference between training and coaching to take that step back, my business definitely took a hit because I
Yeah.
stopped doing it for
Giving.
them. Because
Mhm.
doing it for them is not duplicatable. I
Nope.
can't possibly do it for hundreds of people, and if you wanna scale a business, whether you're a coach, whether you're building network marketing, whatever, you can't do it for every single client or team member. It's just
Yeah.
simply impossible. So the
Or employee, if
our
people are
employee,
listening
yeah,
and if you manage human beings in any
yep,
way, shape, or form,
yep,
you probably feel this on like a massive level. You're like,
absolutely.
"Yep." And if you do not have your performance buckets,
Yep.
rethink that.
Right, right, for sure. No, it's not duplicatable. You have to learn to, bless and release and let it go. Be like Elsa, let it go, you know?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's the struggle part because when you have a heart to help people and you want to see them like take those vacations or get that
Yeah,
brand new car,
yeah,
and then they're so close to just like
yep,
pushing over, it's heartbreaking. It's
yeah.
heartbreaking.
But on the flip side, when you see them accomplishment and you see
Oh my
them
god.
like,
It's
or
like,
like,
you just wanna run to their house
oh,
and, like,
just like hug on them, like no matter whether it's a small, what you can see it in them or you can see it in the numbers, right? But when that clicks and they do it and they get it, it's like, oh, it's a good mama moment. Like I was involved, I had a portion of
yeah,
being part of their journey, and that's very rewarding. I'll never take credit
yeah,
for their
Oh,
success. That's for
no.
sure. If they did it themselves, but knowing that I was appreciated for being part of their journey is really rewarding. And I get such a kick out of that. I've
It's
gotten
just
so
like
many.
when you coach your kids and all of a
Yeah.
sudden that light bulb comes on
Yeah.
for them
Yep.
and they just like had a huge promotion because you kept saying, when's the last time you asked
Yep.
for a raise? What have you done to talk to your supervisor about going into management? And then all of a sudden they come home and they like, I had that conversation.
Yep.
I'm now management. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
it's not your credit. It's not
Yeah.
your credit. They
Yep.
did it.
Yep.
You just ask them, "What did you do? Where did
Yeah.
you go? What did you say?" And they're like, "Well, I didn't. Well, I
Yeah.
haven't." And then if they want to, they'll go home and think about it and really
Mhm.
start to do that self-coaching and say, "Why haven't I? What's
Exactly.
stopping me?" And that's the beauty of it. And then that's the celebration piece.
Yeah. And the thing is everyone needs a coach. Everyone needs a
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
Right? But it's finding the one that, that suits your style and your
Mhm.
personality and your goals. So I definitely suggest everyone like interview the people, right? But
Yeah.
coaching outside of, and sometimes multiple coaches, because coaching outside your traditional coach really does create some of those light bulb moments. I had a client just yesterday who was, was sharing some information, and it was that light bulb that went off like, they had a coach and they have a coach that they can, go to, but
Mhm.
you hear something kind of like the cool aunt, oh, like
Yeah.
Auntie
I
told me this, right? Versus mom. Sometimes
Yes.
their immediate coach is their mom, but I
Yep.
can be a cool aunt and they're like, oh, Auntie said this. And then they go back
Yeah.
to mom and the mom's like, what the fuck? I've been saying that to you for the last 4 years and you haven't done it,
And
right?
that's the and that's the problem. That's what makes me so mad, okay, is that whenever people think they're quote unquote coaching you,
Yeah.
so this is what I look for in a coach. Do not tell me. Do not tell me.
Yeah.
Telling me is not gonna do any good. I love it whenever people say, "Well, I'm trying to coach you," and they're telling you, and they're like, "No, you're trying to give me feedback in the moment." Can we learn the difference between feedback and coaching? I
Right.
recently had a situation, and this lady who I do this is volunteer work with, okay, is like, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, and whenever you do that, it makes me feel this way. So, and I think that it's project. And she's just like, I'm not being coached. You are. And I was like, well, you're trying to give me feedback and I'm not able to receive it whenever, like I'm just like, no, I can't receive that
Yeah. Yeah.
when you're coming at me and we can't have a conversation. Feedback and coaching are two different. And number one, you always are asking permission.
Yes,
Hey,
exactly.
I just observed something. May I share this with you?
Right. Yeah, sure.
When they don't start the conversation like that and it starts like pointing at you, you shut
Yeah,
down
yeah,
immediately. So
good.
I also just want to challenge coaches, like, remember that coaching is always asking that permission, and it's always coming from a place of love, and that person knows it's coming from a place of love because it's a relationship building process.
Yep,
And if you try to do these activities right in the beginning, you're not gonna
yeah,
go anywhere with this person,
yeah.
ever.
Well, and, coaching is a very widely used term, and not everyone
Yeah,
who says that they coach
right.
actually coach. So that's why I always suggest do your research, interview them, because just because
Uh,
they say they're a wellness coach, they're selling a product. That doesn't mean they're coaching you, you know?
yeah.
It's definitely widely overly used.
I owned a gym. Most of you
Mhm,
guys know that. It was best time of my life. And then so after the gym had closed, I still took on clients to do
mhm.
like personal coaching. And I had my whole gym set up and everything. And that was so fun because a fitness coach is so different because it's not a lot of talking. It's a lot of doing the
Doing.
actual
Yep,
work. And,
yep,
and I loved it, Renee, because I was stepping away from direct sales and
yep.
going more into this. And I was like, I don't even have to talk to them. They just have to show up. And if they
Right.
sweat, I know it's working.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that not talking is actually good because when you're coaching, don't you feel like there's a pressure to always needing to be on?
Yeah.
So when you're
Yeah.
coaching, right, how do you balance that? The needing to be on because we have to be on. And I look at this, I relate to that with like national conferences or with
Mhm.
like when you're doing large events. With my Touchstone crystal business for our national conferences for years, me and another woman, one of my besties in Touchstone, we would share a room because in the beginning, we were sharing rooms, hotel rooms with like people in our
Yeah.
team and our team members. But that put so much pressure of us feeling like we needed to be
Yeah.
on for our team, our organization, that when we finally like, no, like after we're with them all day, we go
Yeah.
off to dinners, we're doing things, we need to go to the room and just like,
Reset.
right? You need that break.
Reset.
It's really that's how we learn to balance it because we're like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And
Yeah.
after so much time, our cup gets empty too, and that's what people need to
Yeah.
realize. Like we need to fill that so that we can be of better service and support because we're here because we want to help and we're leading with our heart.
Yeah.
But how do you balance that? How because that's how I balance it, but how do you balance
You
the
know,
need of being on?
I'm thinking of a situation, and this is a work situation.
Mhm.
So, and this is where I'm having to coach employees and coach independent business owners day in, day out. And they're coming to you with, when are we going to have this? How do you do this with the compensation plan? What does this mean? What does that mean? What's the next product? And you sit there. And I remember going to my quote unquote boss. I reported to the CEO at the time and saying, to be my best for you, would you be willing to pay for coaching for me?
Mhm.
Because like I had to recognize right then that I needed, and
Yeah.
I could have went and paid somebody, $1,500 to do it out of my own pocket. But I'm like, I'm doing this ultimately for her to
Yeah.
be my best. And I need pauses. I need moments where I have somebody because she wasn't that for me at all,
Mhm.
which it should be your boss, right? Or your mentor should be
Yes,
that for you. And if you
yes.
don't have a mentor and you report direct to the company, like you, Renee, a lot of times you were founder position, you reported direct to, the national sales director, CEO, and not report to them, but they're your release. They're the one you
Yeah.
go to and say, okay, I have these buckets. This is what I'm doing. And so when you don't have that and you ask for that support and it's not given to you, you know, right way. But I think as far as balancing, it's being able to ask
Yeah, that's a good point. You
and
do.
and
Everything
reach
is
out.
asking. That's the thing is that's the common denominator is ask for what you want.
Yeah.
Anybody all of this is figure outable, but working with someone and asking for help, that's
Mhm.
when everyone achieves success. We
Yeah.
You don't have to do it alone.
No, you're never alone whenever you do a business like a direct selling or network marketing or
Yeah,
affiliate. You never are. There's always somebody, even if they're not on your direct line, there's always somebody who's doing it better than you. And you can reach
yeah,
out to them and say, what are you doing?
yeah,
And if you really want to receive that, they'll tell you.
yeah.
They will.
Yep, and I
Everybody's
encourage
gonna do it
people
differently.
in even in people in my organization, like, go find another coach, because yeah, they get me, I'm their gift with purchase, the ones in my organization, but it's always great to also have other people's opinions, other people's, personalities. And again, like
Mhm.
we said, when you hear things multiple times from multiple people, that sometimes that's when it clicks. So I am a huge advocate for coaching and, getting the support.
Sharing.
Yeah.
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 Sharing is caring.
Sharing is
I
caring.
think,
Yep.
I love coaches that always are sharing good, great tips
Yeah.
every time they go live, every time they post something. They always give you a nugget. Even though you're not
Yeah.
paying for that service, they give you a nugget, and that's what draws
Yeah.
you into them. And you're like, "Oh, yes, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes, say it again."
And then the flip side of it is being the coach that I've done those, free classes, free lives, free trainings, and then nothing comes out of it. and you go
Mhm.
like, "What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Should I
Yeah.
be doing this?" Right? It's that, "Oh god." But then you feel, or at least me, like I go, "Okay, nobody wanted what I had to offer today." But it's
Yeah.
that feeling of knowing that you're on the right path, and then all of a sudden, you'll get, like, a message going, "Hey, I caught your YouTube video from, 6 months ago, and I'm curious of what this is," and then you start having those conversations, and then getting those clients, and it's like, "Okay, okay, alright, I got you, God." Yeah, it's
Everybody's always watching, right,
yes,
Renee?
yes, but
That's
that's
the
why I
thing.
keep going. It's hard sometimes. It's
Yeah.
hard a lot of times, but,
Yeah.
we know that you're right, they're watching. It might not be the right time for them, but they're watching, you know?
Yeah, and and that's the thing that I'm always like telling myself, like, if I'm gonna do it, I need to do it.
Yep,
Right? Because once you do it and you commit to continuously doing it, everybody's watching,
yeah,
guys. So don't like
yeah,
give up if it's
yeah,
something you really, really want. Because believe it or not, they're watching. And I always loved, somebody taught me this a long, long time ago. They said, look, if you follow up, you need to follow up at least 6 times. And on the 6th to 7th time, they're going to actually probably say yes or
right,
say no.
right,
A really, really great coach once was shared that one of her biggest thing is, "May I contact you next month? You said this wasn't a good time. Would next week be a good time?"
right,
Right? So you're scheduling the follow-ups and
yeah,
she doesn't even know it. Like, "Oh, today is not a no. Let
yeah,
me check with you in 2 weeks."
yeah,
And I think that's always fun too, is just reminding yourself that it's not a no today, or if it is a no, it wasn't meant to be. And
right,
as a coach, hearing them say, "I'm done.
mhm,
I don't want this.
mm,
No."
mhm.
It can be a little tragic, but you're like, "Thank God." Deep down, you're like, "Thank God," because I was done. I'm like tired of exhausting myself for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like if it's a no, it's okay to say no. You're not interested. It's
Yeah.
totally okay.
Mhm.
It allows
Mhm.
us to release that so that somebody else can come into our universe.
Yeah,
1000%.
let us pour our mind, our heart, our souls
Yeah.
into those who really wanna receive it.
Yeah, yeah. And for those that want to learn how to coach and
Mhm.
be a better coach, a stronger coach, that's also the reason why I always say that they need coaching and find somebody that they want to work with, because working with, my coaches, I then learn, "Oh, I see what they did there."
Mhm.
I'll get those light bulbs, and how can I be sure to use that, I can't say tactic, but that vibe, that verbiage in my coaching, because
Mhm.
you're going, wow, they got me there.
Yeah,
They
how
put
did
that
she tweak
right.
that? How did she yes, and then you're
You
like,
got it
"I
like
caught this
that.
word, I
Yeah,
caught that word," and all of a sudden she said,
yeah,
"Okay," and you're like, "How did she do that? How did
right.
she?"
I'm like, oh, that sneaky little bitch, and I'm like, oh, I like it. I gotta use that now for me.
But that's a good coach. Like,
That's a
that's
great
amazing
coach.
coaches
Yes.
whenever you can be, like, so captivated
Yep.
into every word they say, and you are, like, absorbing your
Yeah.
mind into every and, like, just one small sentence, you heard, like, 5 things.
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
when you're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
she's good.
Mhm.
She is damn good." And
Yep.
and that and those are the people you wanna be with, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones
Yeah.
you wanna surround yourself with or be coached by, if it's a good fit. And I think that we said that a million times is when you do find a coach, they have to be a good fit. Like you and I, our styles are so different,
Yes.
but we ultimately have the same goal is we want
Right.
to help as many people ever, but somebody is going to really really gravitate to your style, Renee, and somebody will
Mhm.
gravitate to somebody like me, my style, and that's okay because you have to do what's best for you.
Right. And so the thing is, with that, I know I struggled with. Have you ever struggled with imposter syndrome?
Yes, yeah, I think everybody has.
And how did you
Yeah.
move through it?
I had to stop looking at myself as everybody else.
Yeah.
And I just had to learn to appreciate who I am
Mhm.
and what I offer,
Yeah.
because everybody does it different. And sometimes I'll get caught up and I'll be like, I should try this. I should do this. And I'm like, but that's not who you are.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly.
How have you, or are you overcoming it? How
Yeah,
are you?
no, I think that that's actually a um if you're self-aware, then I think that that's
Mhm.
probably something that's an ongoing. But I do feel that when I released the thought and the expectations of what I should be or how I
Mhm.
should, and I'm putting those in quotations for those that aren't seeing me,
Yeah.
how a coach should act, how a coach should look, how a
Yeah.
coach should speak. When I got rid of those expectations and said, you know what, fuck it. I am Renee fucking Carbone Fleming. I am a
Yeah.
badass taco queen and I can help you build your business. Mic drop, I own it. That's who I am. And when I
Yeah.
release the expectation of, I'm Renee Carbone Fleming, and I am an empowerment coach, and I am, that's not me. I am bold. I am loud. I am like, yes, girl, let's do it. We got you. I am
Well,
full of excitement,
oh my god. Renee, do
right?
you remember when we first started the podcast? Is a perfect example of you and I having a little bit of imposter syndrome, like,
Yeah.
in the beginning, because 'cause we're like, "Okay, let's watch other people's, let's check these out, let's see," and then we
Yep.
finally are just like, "Let's just do it.
We're just
Let's
going
just
to be
do it.
us. We're
Let's
just
just
going
be
to be
us."
us. Yep. If they don't like it, then don't listen. It's okay. We know we're real, we're raw, we're unfiltered, and we have a whole lot to say and a whole lot to share. But
I
if
mean, you
we're
guys,
not,
we were to the like, we were, to diving in as deep as, should our front cover look like this? Should we add an intro and an exo, or should we just keep it, or should
yeah,
we be the intro, or
yeah,
like, I mean, it just, you always, you want to do it so well,
yeah,
right? As a coach, as a business owner, as a mom, as
yeah,
when you go to a workplace, you want to be the best you could be.
yeah,
You want to go in there and do the best job you can be. And but sometimes, yeah, that imposter syndrome, it'll kick your butt. You'll
yeah,
go down a rabbit hole, and then next thing you know, you're making excuses of why you can't do it, especially if you're a very high S, high C personality, or you're gonna overthink it, and you're gonna overthink your way out of it.
exactly, exactly. Well, it's that the pursuit of perfection that
Yeah.
doesn't exist, right? Perfection does not exist. But when we think we need to be perfect or look perfect, of course, we want to ensure that people, like what we have to offer, right?
Yeah.
We want to
Yeah.
be accepted into whatever community, or we want people. Yes, I love the podcast. I love the voice. I love your
We
coaching. I
want
love
you to share.
product,
Yeah.
like, right? Like, whatever it is that we're sharing, we want them to love it because that's
Yeah.
why we're doing it, right? So,
Yep.
but when I finally released and I can't say I don't give a fuck what people think, but it's okay if somebody
Yeah.
doesn't like me. It's okay if they don't like my personality. It's okay if they don't like the products that I share. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
there are those that will like it, because
Yeah.
I know that there are, and
Yeah.
that's why we're doing what we're doing. We're gonna find them. We're gonna find
Yeah.
them, and we're gonna help them.
And it's about getting better.
Yes,
You know,
it is. Yes, it
when
is.
you're coaching someone, and then you have all these notes about the conversation and what they agreed to do, when they're going to follow up, how they're going to follow up,
Yeah,
and then when you're going to meet again, you might reflect on that conversation and be like, you know what, I probably should have asked her this. Well, guess what, it's not too late. When you meet with her again, or you can, whenever you send your follow up of how is it going, you could say, I really want to ask you this, and I want you to think about it
yeah,
before we meet again.
yeah,
Or, Renee, whenever you and I watch these, I'm like, I really have to stop, doing this, or I have to make sure that it's just about getting better.
yeah.
And
Exactly, exactly.
one day we're going to watch these and we're going to say, look how far we've come.
Yep, yep. Well, and that's the thing. Everything that we're doing, we're becoming the person we were meant to be, right? And we're becoming um, stronger, better, more confident, as all of these things are less help others. And we reflect back, even like my social media, and we talked about this before, right? When we
So
were first on social media, and I didn't delete my old social media. Some people go back and they delete it because they're like, oh my God, how cringe and how embarrassing. I'm like, no, I am keeping that shit out there because I'm showing people you can look like a total asshole, not know what the hell you're doing, and you're out there
yeah,
at social. But when you learn and you grow and you're like, okay, this is my evolution. This is my path. And I tell everybody to put their blinders on, right? You can't run the race
mhm,
looking left to right and wondering what other people are doing and how they're doing it. Nope. Put your
yeah,
blinders on, work the way you want to work, but work with the coach that you want to be coached with, and just continuing to move forward, and it will
yeah,
work. It'll be successful for you.
yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
I I found myself really, really helping families that are blended and not racially blended because I actually had I had couples come to me and say, I heard that you help blended families. What I mean by blended is you're divorced, you come with kids and you come with kids, and now now you have to make it work as a family.
Yep.
And my coaching with that came from a place, and I know this is why you and I both do what we do, but it came from a place of experience. So when you find a coach, ask them that question of how did you get here?
Right. Yep.
Because chances are they have went through it, and they have like went through it in the trenches,
Mhm.
like the deep, deep, dark place,
Right.
and they've managed to get out. So they could be a huge benefit if it's a specific thing. And so I wanted to share that example because shopping for a coach, sometimes people don't know what to ask for.
Yep.
They just are like, how much is it? And but they
Yeah.
don't know how to interview the coach.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, is asking the questions about the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
Because, if coaches aren't authentic, and that's the other thing, there are coaches that are like, everything is full of roses and it's all wonderful and there's unicorns and there's rainbows and it's fantastic. No.
No.
You know
Yeah.
what? There's going to be a lot of failures. There's going to be
And
a lot
coaches
of
should
things
be
that aren't going to
yeah,
work.
and coaches should be able to tell the person the weakness. Because like, I
Yes.
had a girl who interviewed me, and she wanted to join the company that I was with, and
Yep.
she was like, "What do you do for support when it comes to this?"
Mhm.
And I was like, "That is not my gift, but I have talented team members who are really good, and they provide this, and I share it.
Yep.
I'm not the one creating it, but I
Mhm.
am like honest. I'm like, yeah, if you want me to be that girl, I'm probably not gonna be it." And that's
Yeah. Yep. I ain't gonna blow smoke up your ass. That's for sure. That's
no.
for damn sure. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach you how to fish, okay?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm not going
Yes.
to send you 5 or 6 names. No, I'm sorry, I can't do that, but
Yep.
I have some really good material that will show you how to do that.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And
I
then
love
at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, if that's not good enough for you, I don't, then it's okay. I'll
Yep.
wait for some other ones.
Yep. 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 So at the end of the day, I love coaching. There's a lot of good. There's some bad, there's some ugly, but we do it because we know that there's a way that we can help other people, and
Yeah.
coaching is our passion. So, absolutely love it.
Coaching is like a cup of caffeine, and we dump that caffeine out all day long.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, our cups are empty. So, as coaches, we are trying to refuel. So, when we set a boundary for our time, remember that our caffeine cup is empty. So, allow us to have that time to refuel so we could be the best for you.
Yeah, that's a very good
Yeah.
way of putting it. Yep. Because I freaking love it. I love having those conversations, and they jazz me up. And
Oh, God. It's like a
right.
high.
It is such a high, and then you're like, "Oh my god, okay, I wanna do this again," and it becomes that I wanna do it more, and I wanna find more people that I can hopefully help support, and so that they can become
Yeah.
the person that they were meant to be. It is very, very exciting,
It's
rewarding.
empowering.
Yeah. Yep.
enlightening and igniting. And I
Yep.
use those 2 words together because it's like a light bulb comes on and then it's like a fire burns in your soul for
Yeah.
you and that person. And you just want every person that you get done talking to or seeing or, you know, having lunch with, however you're meeting them, to just feel like they can do it,
Yep.
that they
Exactly.
are special, that
Yeah.
they can achieve whatever is blocking them.
Yep.
And it's such a beautiful thing.
Exactly. So what advice would you give to somebody as we wrap it up that wants to be a coach?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that all of us have the ability to be a coach, but I definitely think that you need a coach to help guide you, to guide you in resources.
Yeah.
And possibly if you haven't done a coaching, like I did a coaching course, I have 3 different certificates from 3 different companies. And those are very, very instrumental. And I really think that you need some kind of certification if you don't have one yet. There are some that are absolutely dirt cheap.
Yeah.
But if you have a coach who's going to teach you to be a better coach, she can probably guide, or he can probably guide or direct you. So that's where I would say to start, Renee, is like dive in to as many resources as possible and human beings.
Absolutely. You have to invest in yourself in order to better to serve, your audience. And it's finding,
Right.
what is it that you want to coach? Like, what is your
Yes.
niche? What do you want to do? Right. But you're right. There's so many opportunities for women to become coaches. And we say women because that's pretty much like
That's
that's
our audience.
our audience, our
And
go-to.
we have a few good men out there, and we
I
love and we
know, I
appreciate
know.
you.
It really is. And that cracks me up. Like it really cracks me up that there are men out there that are listening to our show that, I guess it gives them a great perspective of, that women are from
The
Mars,
mind
men
of a
are from
woman,
Venus, right?
the
And they're like,
mind of
holy shit, right? Women really are batshit crazy. It's like, no, we're,
you
we're
prove it.
right, right. Renee and Sierra are just showing you exactly the way. But yeah, everyone can find their passion. Anyone can coach, but it's working with the right one and working with that right aunt, or you would say aunt, right? You would say
You need
working
to
with,
hear her voice, and it needs to sink in, not just a motherly sink in,
yeah,
right?
yep,
But then a good coach is going to stretch you to
yes,
do your own thinking.
yep,
And that is key. If she is not stretching you to leave that conversation and you are not pondering every word she said,
yep.
it might be time to get a new coach,
Exactly.
right?
Yep. Yeah. So do your research. Really, I challenge everyone, whether or not you have a coach, but take a look, reassess where you are, where you want to go, and really invest in yourself because coaching accelerates success. And we want nothing but massive success for everyone listening.
And just to add to that, Renee, it betters your life as
Mhm.
a coach or being coached.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
remember that it's about enriching and growth.
Yep.
And growth does come with age, but if you really want to take it to the next level, having a coach or learning to coach is going to take you to levels and heights that you never thought you could go.
Yes. Amen, sister.
Man.
Amen. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Unapologetically Badass. And we will see you on the next one. Have a great day, all.
Bye.
All right, Queens, that's a wrap for today's episode. But before you hit pause, let's talk about you and how we can help you slay every part of your life. If you're ready to feel fabulous and look like $1,000,000, I've got you covered with my badass queen coaching, sparkling touchstone crystal jewelry, and Bella Grace collagen because glowing skin and a sparkly vibe, that's a power move. Check it all out at ReneeCarbonefleming.com. And my co-host Sierra, oh yeah, she's bringing the heat too. Not only is she rocking Bella Grace Collagen for her glow game, but she's also the queen of chic with her fabulous clothing boutique. From boosting your wellness to leveling up your wardrobe, Sierra's got the magic to help you shine inside and out. Check her out at Linktree/Sierra Whitener 7. So here's the deal. Head to our websites, grab the goods that'll help you live your best life, and let's make everything about you unapologetically badass. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and share this episode with your fellow queens, because the more sparkle in the world, the better. Until next time, keep glowing, keep slaying, and remember, you're a badass queen who deserves it all.